the deli intensifying, all right? And I don't mean the type that serves delicious food. Although, in fairness, his name is a delicious food in itself, isn't it? Because it is salami. Welcome back, folks, to the 1v1 series. This time, featuring salami again. On his deli, as always. I know, shock, surprise. What an innovative and different thing for him to do. His opponent, however, will be England, manned by Nickname. Nickname, who is currently sitting in 141st place on the leaderboards. 288 games played, 1,653 elo. Salami, or Salami, or however you want to pronounce it, 81st right now. 81st with 912 games. 900! Yes, you heard that right. This guy doesn't sleep. He doesn't eat. Doesn't get laid. These are not options if you want to be the best of the best, okay? Your love is Age of Empires. Your food is Age of Empires. Actually, it's other Age of Empires players. You just have to make sure you do that, you know, dark alleys away from policemen. But also start with the organs because they tend to rot quicker and also are easier to cook. But this is a different kind of advice for what we're looking for. Let's talk about the meat man himself. Salami, for those that are unfamiliar, is, as you may have taken a hint at by how much we keep mentioning it, a deli spammer. Inside out, it's all... He's green and black on the inside and out, all right? And if you want to know how to play the Civ, he's probably one of the best people to actually consult on it. Now, that's not to say there aren't deli players who can beat him. We've actually seen a few on this channel already, stomping him with deli. Although I've never seen someone do deli versus deli against him. That's the exciting one I'm looking for. That's the meatball that I want to just munch into. So hopefully we'll eventually get that. But for now, it's going to be England up against the deli. Now, England, of course, we all know them from our days in the stress test, right? They just like rushing. They just like getting in early. But we're in a new generation, England. It's not just about that early rush. It's not about that ram rush anymore. In fact, everyone's bored of ram rushes. It's not even just about longbowmen anymore, although they do play a big part throughout the entire game. We have seen players diversify their builds, right? Aim for example, Castle Age, and look to try and TC boom up. There's a lot more flexibility to what there once was with England. And even occasionally, we get to see the usage of man-at-arms in the early game. I don't expect to see it in this matchup. Usually, man-at-arms is either a knee-jerk reaction to aggression from your opponent or a requirement of panning your early assault. But I just don't expect an early assault out of England here, even though they're up against Delhi. And if they wanted to be doing an early assault against them, they'd already be behind, because you can see that Nickname is going to arrive in the feudal age after Salami. And Salami won't be able to do too much with that feudal age. It's probably going to be England that tries to apply some early pressure. I think win condition for Salami is going to be Compound Defender, early mid-Castle Age. Win conditions for England are open right now. He could play into early aggression mid-feudal, or he could look to Castle Age boom himself for multiple TCs. I think England have a little bit more of a comfortable time getting to multi-TCs than Delhi. Just because of the build orders, there isn't really any resource-specific thing that would suggest they should, but between like the way that they transition to farms more easily, they save so much on wood there that they're able to actually afford the expenses of a second TC much sooner. Not to mention the fact that if they go up into Castle Age, they can get the King's Palace, which is a town center itself. So overall, I do expect an economy expansion from England before I see it from Delhi. Delhi, of course, do have some of their own eco benefits. For one, they are gathering more from these berry bushes, right? Not only do they double the size of them, but they also gather them quicker. I think it's about 0.84 food per second, which is competitive with sheep. In fact, it's superior to sheep, if I remember correctly. So very impressive for them there. And also, the other cool thing, now that he's teched up, we should just see him start pressing the buttons in a sec, he can start researching everything. He's going pro scouts in this game, though. Okay, that is very surprising to me. So he goes pro scouts, needs to drop a lumber camp, hasn't begun doing the specialized picks yet. That's a big no-no. I'm shaking my head right now. But it's okay. Maybe he's had a long day. Maybe he's been playing like 8 hours and he's bored of clicking the same buttons. Meanwhile, on the other side, I don't really expect many tech choices coming out of England. England could opt for an early mill, and then they could get access to the wheelbarrow, which I'm always a big fan of. But the problem I see is like, it's a wood investment you can't afford if you're pushing out longbowmen early, which I expect him to do, and he is doing, right? And I think that's one key thing. And that's part of the reason why they can feel a little bit weaker. Just the ability to be able to build into a mill and get wheelbarrows, I think is going to be a very meta thing, a very basic requirement of like playing a lot of the game as we move into January, February in 2022. A lot of players are starting to switch onto this. The Muslim was switched on from day one, and I mean, the Muslim's always in top 10, it seems like. So if you need any sort of justification on does it work, is it worthwhile, it's a top 10 player who just swears by it, right? He'd basically convert you to his religion. His religion would be religion of the wheelbarrow. It's just people walking around bowing into wheelbarrows full of luscious, delicious resources that they're looking to bank for quicker tech up diamonds. So yeah, you can tell maybe I'm a little bit of a fan of wheelbarrow. So Pro Scouts is halfway done, so we should see a stable being dropped soon. He could just try and find casual. He might not even bother now, considering that his scout almost got sniped out, and he sees his opponent has pushed longbowman early. Nicely done by Salami to anticipate this is coming, though. You can see he's funneled his opponent in. Longbows don't handle walls too well. Turns out shooting small pieces of wood at a bigger piece of wood isn't a great way of killing it, right? So it's very hard now for Nickname to breach in and try and reach in, right? Because those longbowmen, the whole concept is they have this ridiculous range, which allows them to be on the very edge of the TC range, right? You can see a 7-tower range on the longbowman compared to the 8. And usually if you can find villages just in front of the TC, it means that max range, you can snipe them, and you don't have to worry about being shot at by the TC. But you need that flexibility, that wiggle room. And I actually have to give so much credit to Salami, the way he's blocked this in, because a lot of players would have failed to do this, especially on a map like Dry Arabia. They would have just had this excuse of, oh, well, you know, it's so much ground to cover and so much wood to waste on palisades. Yeah, but you know, here's the alternative. You could waste 10, 15 minutes of your life and lose the game, or you could waste a little bit of wood and realize it's not a waste, as it'll win you the game. And that's what he's doing here. So only a few longbowmen, and already a transition across into farmlands coming out from Nickname. Like I said, it's just too cost effective. That's the thing you have to consider as well. So if you want to be like a stickler for detail and want to be like nerdy efficient and be like, oh, well, this is better than that, deer gathering is still better than farms at this stage for England. It isn't until, I think, Imperial Age where the increased gathering rates that England gets, because remember, they have the influence around the mills. You can see there, 15, 20, 25, 30% increase on harvest rates, depending on age, isn't until they reach Imperial Age where it really starts to feel like it competes with the deer. The problem is this. Think about what you're paying for, folks. So Pro Scouts cost 75 wood and 275 gold. That is a lot. A farm for England costs 37 wood. Are you seeing where this is going? What would you prefer? A finite resource that you have to pay for access to and then pay to build the units to get access to, not to mention the infrastructure, so you're also building a stable, which is another 150 wood. Or would you rather just get ahead of the curve and switch over to farmlands like everyone's going to do in another 5-10 minutes or so and do it for half the price? I know which I'd be on board with, and I understand fully why England players in general are. Like, this is the reason, by the way. This is why you should always do this. Do your sheep, well, like an Englishman, as in kill them, not like a Welshman, and then just build into farmlands everywhere. And you can see he's even min-maxed. I love this. A lot of players don't do this. They'll try this on the edge of the area, not near the TC. He's found more value in doing this. So what you do is you stagger the placement of the farm so you can grab more underneath the mill influence. So it's more cost efficient, right? And it's actually really well played here because in this situation, he's got the town center so close that the drop-off point is optimized for some of these villages, right? Whereas if he'd had it, say, 2 or 3 tiles away, it would feel a little bit more wonky for him. Now, there was a reason we had that long eco discussion. Not only was it probably interesting, I'm sure you had a good time of it, but it also covered the tedious process of the alternative, which would have been watching this palisade gate slowly be killed off, as it still has 1,000 health left after all that. But now they're building battering rams, so Nickname's prepped for this. He wants to apply more pressure with his small force, and he's already forcing reactions out of Salami. You can see he's starting to build the horsemen, and he's getting archers of his own. And it's only a small group of longbowmen, so you are going to lose them. And the scouts, in the meantime, from Salami are starting to push out from that stable as well, and he's gathering up all the deer to prevent himself from being forced into a rapid push over towards farmlands. So Palisade on fire is now going to be repaired. Longbows should be able to kill these villies. That's a little bit of a mistake from Salami. He's going to lose all 3 of these. I'm not a fan of what he done here. I think he would have been fine, but where did his horseman go? I know he got at least 1 out, right? pretty sure I saw him queue up a horseman. Maybe I'm just imagining things. I could have sworn he got 1 or 2 horsemen. But no. All right. Looks like his opponent's still getting in. And also, he just killed 3 villagers. Also, Nickname is almost ready for a tech up. Salami isn't. And this is a problem. Still moving. Keeps you off the gold as well. Secondary gold point doesn't exist right here. Salami's going to be in a lot of trouble at this rate. He needs to react to this soon. Or he is going to lose a lot. Baron Ram. This is before specialized pick's going to be done. Oh my god. All right, this is knock-on effects, guys. Salami, if he had noticed this, if he'd actually just started researching specialized picks straight away when he dropped the mining camp, it would actually be done. So although you still lose this mining camp, at least when you rebuilt it, you'd have more efficient mining capabilities, right? And it's these kind of small details that can very easily be missed by Delhi players. Because, of course, Delhi, to get the maximum value, you just need to spam research everything. It's the same reason Salami dropped 2 blacksmiths here. Is because it takes so long to research, but you do it for free. Right? That's kind of the beauty. You can afford these extra tech buildings. And there's the Horseman army. I don't know where it went. It went on a coffee break, but we finally found it. And now it'll be able to just turn in and get rid of these longbows. In the meantime, Nickname will try to find value sniping out the straggler archers as they come out. You can maybe get 1 or 2 more villagers before you die here. Just need to be quick with the shots. There it is. Second one's going to die. And just as that happens, Nickname now taking up into Castle Age. England looks very cozy in this game right now, but he's going to have to get a defensive force now that there are 11 horsemen out ready to raid in the fields. I love how you drag that away. That's another small detail you can do, guys. When you know you're going to lose a fight like this, there's a few options. If you've got like a ram in here, try to draw attention away from the ram so the ram can burn down 1 or 2 buildings and then find more like eco damage in that regard. Alternatively, let's say, you know, you've got your longbowman, you've got like, you know, your Mangonel or whatever. Try and sneak that away. Try and sneak away other things while you distract with your main force. If you know you're going to lose a fight and you know having that other side of the force involved in the main like battle isn't going to change anything, at least try to like salvage what you can. Those small details really add up. It's big savings down the line. So Imam's now moving out, looking to cap those sacred sites and get a nice bit of gold trickle going into the pockets of Salami. Because Salami right now, the only thing he's lacking is gold. Needs to get back on that line, which is why he's now rebuilding the mining camp. Scout is going to scare away the Scholar for now. I do believe Sanctity has already been researched, yes. Yes, always research Sanctity and military efficiency first, folks. Do not go for party or herbal medicine. That way lies depression and the bottom of a bottle because you just can't handle how badly you handle it. And there we go, 2 racks being dropped. Also, there's the King's Palace we talked about, so you're fighting against 2 TCs at the stage. Salami needs to find value off of this raiding force. The problem is it's horsemen, so diving can be a little bit wonky. Yes, you have the 2 missile resistance, but you only have 125 health, and these TCs hit hard. Remember, England, their defenses fire twice as many arrows, so you have to be very careful when approaching here. Longbows. Let's see if they use the palings so they get engaged. Village is still backing up, and there we go. Volley's going to come out quickly. Should force Salami off for the moment. Only lost 1 of the horsemen. And it looks like all of the sacred sites have now been capped by Salami. So Nickname in a very uncomfortable situation as England at this stage do not build into dynamic units. This is the win condition for Salami. Because he got beaten to the castle age, he's not looking into like compound the defenders. He just understands that his opponent doesn't have the infrastructure or the transition point yet where he's going to be able to move out with a strong force and take control of these sacred sites back. And I love the walling as well, just slowing everything down. He's creating kind of a maze to play around, which is an amazing part of the game. Okay, I'm going to stop. So Salami is going to be compound defender, as it always is. Homeblades is nice, but in this situation, in most games, House of Learning just feels bad because Homeblades is bugged, takes 15 minutes to research. Also, especially in this game, you wouldn't be able to do it. I think the issue you have with House of Learning right now is because Homeblades is bugged. If you're playing from behind and you build it, well, the game's probably going to be over by the time it's researched and you would have lost. If you're playing ahead, if you're actually dominating the game at the moment, why would you take a research that's going to allow you to dominate 15 minutes down the line versus an ability via the stone walling right now that will allow you to actually double up your advantage, right? Because it's even more value when you're ahead, right? Because usually you're ahead when you're on these sacred sites, for example, and it allows you to just plant down all of these stone wall towers that prevent your opponents from coming and easily decapping the zones. Good decaps. Looks like he should get at least 1 of these. Center one's going to be successful. Ignores the southern one, instead chasing onto the Scholar. Although the Scholar is taking a million years to die at this stage with only 8 damage per poke. It looks like the Scouts could probably come out and deal with this one poor Spearman on 13 health. So it won't prevent the collecting there. Also, because he chased that Scholar instead of just sniping out the Sacred Site, it means that now Salami's still going to get the gold trickle from the Relic, but you also got an extra minute on the Sacred Site here, so generate even more cash. Because remember, Delhi, they get 200 gold per minute, as opposed to most civs getting that 100 gold when they control the Sacred Sites. More mosques being built. 3 relics already banked for Salami. Salami is making it rain on the gold front. He's suffering on the other 2, though. You can see how superior England is. England is going to run into an issue soon at this rate when these wood lines dry up, because he's actually stripping them quite fast, right? Yeah, 25 people right now, because he needs the extra wood influx to buy the longbowmen, to build the new military infrastructure, and to also afford the farmlands, which, yes, they are half the price of other civs, as we talked about, but it still adds up to quite a lot of wood when you consider how many farms he's placing. So longbowmen now on the move. A few crossbowmen in there as well. Not really many man-at-arms or any spearmen, so the horseman raiding can still be a problem. In fact, they're still guarding over here on the west side where you're about to engage. Let's have to see if this works out well for Salami, because he can just wrap around. He can go straight into the longbows. But I don't think he's paying attention right now. No, he engages on the man-at-arms. This is really bad. Salami, he could have probably sniped out several of these longbowmen here and made it a good trade for the horsemen. Instead, he has to run away with half of them dead. So really not the play you were looking for there. Let's at least get a few away after all of it. But now, as things start to calm down, you have to remember that despite the religious element to Salami's game plan right now, he's starting to be outscaled. 69 compared to the 51 villager count at the moment. And that's going to continue to scale. And remember, as we go later, England starts to boom up certain advantages courtesy of the influence factor for all that farmland, right? Increasing the harvest rates. Also, another thing to consider is you then get the possibility of enclosure when you have so many farmlands to generate gold. And then we also have to start thinking about things like the cost efficiency of their late game units. English player is very happy to run an army of longbowmen and spearmen. So they don't really have to waste much gold other than on siege. And the other interesting part about that kind of knock-on effect is they have such surplus due to the food situation. The only thing that might become a limiting factor is wood as you move out. But because he's on 2 TCs, courtesy of the way King's Palace plays into England's teching plan, it means that you're going to have wasteful rather, villages, and you can throw them out and they're disposable income sources, right? If you lose that villager line that went over to try and extract a new tree line, what do you freaking do? It's not the end of the world. This will be the end of the wooding for Salami at the moment, as he has to retreat his wood line across the other side. The nickname in position to do some serious damage right now. Salami has not reacted at all correctly. He's actually moving across to his opponent's base. Maybe he is correct in this. However, look how many troops are here for nickname. The problem is not much in the way of anti-large, and he's being raided. The Lancers are in as well. This choice by Salami, he commits to apply pressure to his opponent, ignoring what's happening in his own base, realizing it's just a measly group of longbowmen in comparison to his superior war elephants. Those war elephants, though, are starting to die quickly. You're seeing the longbows, their superiority coming into effect here. One of them is already almost dead. King's Palace is target. The siege damage, the cancellation on the attacks. This is where elephants are ridiculous, folks. Look what he's doing here. Look how quickly he's taking out this King's Palace. And they're trying to repair it. It's going to fall still. Second elephant is almost dead, though. And after all that, I don't know if this was the value we're looking for, because your opponent is now in your base. And he's ramming his way through everything. In fact, nickname, he could actually build even more rams if he want to. Elephants riding even deeper. They're not really striking the villages, though. This is a really important detail. The Vanguard, not Vanguard, I'm sorry, normal man-at-arms at the stage are just staying on top of him. It means he's wasting all of his archer shots. If they weren't close, if it was just archers, he would have sniped out 5, 6, 7, maybe more of these villages. But instead, if he wants to target them, he has to stand still and then he has to attack click them. And that's what he's now doing. It's going to end up losing the elephants. Decent damage done. Nickname should be able to recover this. Gets another elephant before it can even enter the base. And now eco count down to that glorious 69 again, but still only 55 for Salami. And Salami now addressing the problem in his base. But so many longbowmen here and so few horsemen. So he's going to lose the horseman quickly. And now, while he chases with the elephants or the battering rams, well, those elephants will be targeted out by the longbowmen. And the man-at-arms are slowing him down, trying to stop him from reaching them. And I think he's going to lose the elephants again. These are not cost-effective trades for Salami. Remember, these are 1,000 resource units. It wasn't too bad when they were sniping out the battering rams, but now they're just getting sniped down. This is the problem. Whenever you have to retreat, he is using and exploiting the wonky formation mechanics to get away quicker. Remember, if you have 2 units split away from each other and you try to click them to a new direction, they will actually get a speed booster as they get forced into formation. That's how he was able to drag that 0.88 tiles per second unit away so quickly from the fire of the longbowmen. But those longbowmen are now doing some damage. Sniping out a few villagers. We'll back away. Could rebuild the battering rams. Could just guard here and stop new units from coming out. But it is going to be war elephants, so he's probably going to back up. While he backs up, look what's wraps around on the other side. And Salami, yep, you can tell how paranoid he is right now. He's going to drop a keep right next to his base. He doesn't have any other options. The mangonels could be big here, though. This could be the game changer. Remember, everything England's done up to this point is slow, static, and clumped. And just 1 or 2 mangonels could end your hopes of aggression. But for the moment, you're going to find a food line, a very important food line for Salami. Salami, he still hasn't transitioned into farmlands. And most of these villagers should get picked apart on the way out. Name will see him again. Should snipe 3 more, I'd say. Oh, no, he cancels the attack. That's another one. Shoots in. Not able to find it, but still. Just increasing that lead, right? Nickname 80. Now it's 50 for Salami. Salami, moving out with the stone outcroppings, understands that the only way he's getting back into this is mangonels and keeps to defend him. Decent amount of man-at-arms here will quickly be able to breach through. Meanwhile, battering rams being rebuilt on the other side. Nickname not letting up with the pressure. Nickname could actually try and cruise into the Imperial Age at this rate, but I don't think he's interested in it. This is his power spike, right? He has everything he needs. He doesn't even have to resort to spears to deal with the elephants. That's the impressive part. Longbowmen are good enough against these units, as we're seeing. Mangonel shots. Gonna force them to retreat. Gonna be a chase in. The man-at-arms probably just have to stick on this now. If they ever turn around, they're gonna die. And the mangonels, big mistake! Salami, he tries to actually deploy them. Repairs are gonna come out, and they are gonna aim on the longbows now. Decent splash, gets rid of a few crossbows. The longbow army is going to be fine. The villagers able to keep the mangonels repaired, and now up to 3 for Salami. A Nickname really needs to get some squirrels out, if anything. I just don't see the switch over yet. Yeah, there's no siege workshops being built. Remember, they're very expensive, 300 wood each. And on top of that, you'd need enough squirrels, which would be 250 gold, 250 wood. I like this, though. The tug and pull, right? It's kind of funny to watch, but England, with their stupidly static and slow troops, are the ones playing Benny Hills with their opponent here. Because remember, everything Salami has is a slug. Mangonel, 0.88. The Tower War Elephant, 0.88. That's most of what he's doing right now. So they can just dance back and forth. You can build battering rams here, and he has as well. Nickname is doing it again. And this has got to be getting frustrating. Salami, in the meantime, did at least secure this sacred site with a lot of stone walling. But for what is going to be the question at this rate? Longbows are going to get engaged. Needs to back them up. Might be able to get 1 war elephant, but he should end up losing the longbowmen. This is 4 tower war elephants. There's no way you survive this. Unless you just perma retreat. And Wall Street built. Salami constantly under siege here. As soon as he runs away, he has to turn around for the battering rams. This is the problem. Look at this. He's outranged, right? Remember, it's a normal archer range, 5 tiles. So if the longbows are just outside that and chasing you, they have the movement speed to keep up, which is ironic and very rare to say of longbowmen. But then they also have the range to ensure you can never shoot them back. Here come the mangonels. Back away just in time. Rams tipped him off to what was waiting there. And that's the dangerous thing. If you didn't have these rams, you probably would have lost most of your army there. That was 4 mangonels getting ready to fire. Meanwhile, rams on the other side. This has got to be so frustrating, guys. Think about it from Salami's perspective, right? He's got a game plan. He's trying to execute it. He's slowly building up an army, but he's always having to repair these damages, replace these things in his base, and he's never getting out. Everything about his army says, I don't move. So he's stuck on the defensive 24/7, and Nickname understands this perfectly, using a sieve that usually the one stuck on the defensive at this stage, courtesy of their own immobility. And the impressive part about this for me is Nickname. He never invested in a forward outpost. He never built up a network. This could be even stronger, but he feels like it's not worth it because of the risks associated with doing so, right? He's up against elephants. Elephants that could run in and kill his outpost quickly. But what he might kill is Salami's hopes of winning this game. This is a very greedy eco pocket. And it hasn't been spotted out just yet, but it might be soon. Instead, trying to breach through the palisade walls. And look what he gets vision on. Nickname sees it all. They cut through too many trees. A few more villages are going to get sniped out. It's going to be forced back. And Nickname now ready for the tech up. Meanwhile, Salami hasn't been on the gold in ages. Remember, he dried this one up. He hasn't got access to gold anymore. It's just a trickle and that's it. And he only has control now 1 sacred site of 5 relics. Yes, I said only 5 relics because it's only accounting for 500 gold per minute. And when we look on that chart, Nickname, well, he's competing with these numbers. And Salami is never able to tech up because he's always investing that gold supply into mangonels and elephants. One of the most costly compositions on that front. And the only good thing for him right now is his food line did not get sniped because it's, well, it looks like the English army is busy raiding his base. Mangonels are wrapping around. I love this flank. Shots in. Looks decent. Nice hit. Only gets one off, though. Second one seemed to be like maybe whiff there. Now it's going to be a split. Nickname is going to move away through the gaps in the walls that never got repaired by Salami. And all the while, look what he's doing back in his base. Builds up more crap to play with. And these walls coming out from Salami. He put down a keep near the center sacred site. Rams will be able to deal with that. The villagers could try to repair, but the longbowmen could move in to cause problems with that. And in fact, one thing I really want to give credit to Nickname for that a lot of players wouldn't do as England in this situation is he's actually building into crossbowmen. So many English players do not because longbowmen are so fantastic, right? They're the whole reason you play this civ. So why would I waste that effort? Why would I put it into crossbowmen? Well, I mean, you're up against these lads. That's probably a good reason. Tower elephants. You get decent value there. And now also, your Pret Force coming next. These man-at-arms that are now starting to be spammed out by Salami. I mentioned the Lancers as they come out. They're not going to last long against those crossbows. This trickle-in is going to be very ineffective. I think he's been force marching these troops to the front as well. They're moving quite fast to get in. If he hasn't been force marching them, it's a missed opportunity. And no repairs coming out. Boiling oil is going to be slow as hell to research. Remember, Delhi can't speed it up. And it does mean that this keep is going to fall. But look how many elephants are here now. 7, they ride out. And I think you got across quicker courtesy of the formation bugs. And what does that mean? That means back at the base, Nickname tries to go to end it. Remember, he's already taken out 1 landmark, just 2 remaining, and now the army is away from home. He can exploit this to the full. In fact, if anything, he should be building even more rams in the base of his opponent. Because there is no way in hell that these tower elephants, despite how strong they are at sieging, will be able to end the game quicker. And you can see a keep now being dropped by Nickname to slow him down. He needs to hurry up with the siege. Baron Rams in the wrong location. Nickname needs to build more of them. If he wants to win it, this is the way to do it. He's found the keys to success here. He just has to close it out himself. And now he's got problems. Springles coming out. Wasn't quick enough here. He has to address the war elephants, and he just hasn't. And I don't know how he's going to at this rate. He has got a lot of infrastructure, so there is a way. He needs to deal with the mangonels, though. That's his biggest problem. Springles moving in. Not able to take them out. Keep already down. He needs the attack speed. The attack speed could give him the edge here to repel. Remember that he also has access to this now, the arrow volleys, which are a big deal for the longbowmen. They're a big part of why these English players still do not bother to go into crossbowmen at this late stage in the game. Right, and then we saw how quickly they killed the King's Palace with 3. Don't blink, guys. You might miss it. Here we go. Start steps to cancel the animation. In again. Thump. Thump. What goes bump in the night? Elephants do, my friend. Now, keep in mind, 2 of these are almost dead, so we'll be down to 5. I don't know if he can get through the landmarks quick enough here. He's slowly being picked apart. Also, look at this. Troops producing out of here to burn off the mangonels, so now that the longbows can actually cluster up. Meanwhile, on the base, how's it going? Rams have been a fail. The Springles held them back. But the elephants, I don't think they can get through the rest of this. There's just too much left to kill, right? They have to actually get through the Council Hall, the TC, and then still somewhere else in here. No, it's Ford, wasn't it? Yeah, the Berkshire Palace. So I think although he'll do some damage, he's once again going to be repelled by Nickname. It's just taking a bit of time, but with the man-at-arms finally getting on top of the elephants, blocking them from moving away as well. Looks like that army is going to be expended. And once again, the problem is this. Nickname He resumes the assault, and more importantly, keep in mind that Salami, like we said, he can't scale his gold requirements up. Look at the difference. Nickname now doubling him up. Because Salami, all he has is sacred sites, which he doesn't have control of anymore, and these relics. He still doesn't have access to gold because it's so far out of the base and so dangerous to try and access. And now we're talking about those elite man-at-arms. Look at these boys move. Need some Star Wars evil music playing in the background. Dun, 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 dun. It does feel like you're dealing with the Dark Troopers, the Stormtroopers, right? And these Sprills, they'll move around to try and deal with the back ramp. He's pulling out the relics! The wall attempt's going to be a whiff, though. Mangonels will force him away. He couldn't stick there and try to kill off the Scholars. He does keep the man-at-arms alive again. Looks like his army might be washed, but remember, he's replacing his army quicker. It's an issue that Salami's having, is how does he afford the new troops quick enough? We'll have to see. In the meantime, not even moving these villages away quick enough. Count is now 93 for Nickname, 52 for Salami. And Salami is running out of things to drain in his base. Look, barely any trees left here. He still hasn't transferred across from berries to a new food supply, right? He's got 2 bushes left here, and that's literally it. This is kind of a do-or-die situation. You need an expansion that pays off. He did finally get onto the gold vein in the center, right? He was able to rebuild on the keep. And this is a heavy investment. If this gets sniped out, game just might be done. Set a match, right? Because after that, where are you getting gold? How are you recovering? This is so many villages to lose. 23 in a risky location from a civ running off of 1 town center. Hold in the center, but he needs to make a move soon. Battering ram's coming in again. I love how Nickname has been efficient with this the whole time. Never really felt pressure to go to Mangonels or Springles, and that's impressive in the current metas. Instead, non-stop battering ram hop. And even against the Springles, they get some decent value out before they do fall. Man-at-arms chasing away the villagers. Remember, he can't afford to lose these, but he can't afford to lose the keep either. If he gives over the foothold in the center, he's going to give over full control of this game. And look how many troops are coming. Man-at-arms chasing in. Only a few crossbowmen here, so they don't care. They get close enough. The Mangonels cannot fire anymore, and they're going to be burnt to a cinders in the blink of an eye. And with the Mangonels gone and the non-stop slog of infantry coming your way from the English player here, how do you stop this? Fire arrows to scare off and kill off the elephants. The army is dead, and Salami's hopes of winning this game might be alongside it. What a play out of England. So impressive. Not even relying upon the outpost attack speed. Not relying upon knights hitting into that castle age. No kind of cheesy play around maybe going into like bombards and hand cannons late game. Just a classic sword and shield plus longbow gives the edge and gives England the win here up against the Delhi.